So I had initially tried to apply for a job at the school district, and
That was the council.
I talked to Cope about potentially going over there, but I think I've got a lot of irons in the fire right now. So I'm gonna wrap my head around this and then one thing at a time.
Yeah. Cope is good. I hope to tell you.
What board aren't you on?
I don't know, there must be some.
Royal Guard.
Yep. And they will not get it.
Yeah. As do I.
I hope there's nothing controversial tonight. It could be, I remember anything. Looking at talk about 80-20, which I didn't get a copy of, but we're going to have a resolution on that.
Is Pam not coming tonight?
When the schools to pay 80% of the insurance and the employees to pay 20%.
These cute little booties on.
And it's better for the administrators than
Toes
it's
like this.
right now.
Why do we do
One of her
that?
sons has grandkids. Do you know which son it is?
I couldn't get my foot on the clutch.
Only so they can
Shoes are a mess.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yep. I know them.
Well, first it is.
so they have insurance.
Get that foot on the clutch.
Okay, we're ready?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, good evening. It's a regular board meeting this evening, Monday, October 17th, 2022 at 6 p.m. We'll call this meeting to order with posting of the colors by the Alamogordo High School Air Force Junior ROTC.
Detail. Halt. Left. Haste. Present. Arms.
I pledge
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I salute the flag
Of the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol of perfect friendships among united cultures.
Order. Arms. Right. Haste. Forward. March.
Good evening, and thank you for being here tonight, and especially welcome to our new board member, Amanda Jewell.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Very glad to see you. Start with the adoption of the agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. We have the approval of minutes. We're considering approval of board minute meetings from September 21st, 2022 of the regular board meeting and September 26th of 2022, the special board meeting. Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. We have no presentations or recognitions for October, so we are at public participation. And let's see, Lisa? Hey, let me clear something up. There seems to be a misunderstanding about the public participation, and I wanted to let you know that under Open Meetings Act, public participation is really not a required or thing that we have to do. It's something we welcome and want to do. There's a couple of different ways that board presidents arrange this. It could be, the way we used to have it is we had one at the beginning of the meeting for agenda items only, and then one at the end of the meeting for any other discussion. The problem we thought was being that is if you were here to discuss something that had nothing to do with the agenda, you had to sit through the whole meeting, and sometimes they're a little lengthy to get to that bottom part where you could have public participation. So it's not that we took any participation out, it's just that we combined it into one. So we have one public participation where you can speak about agenda items or any other items that you have concern about. So just wanted to clear that up. So this evening we have, first up, Melanie Hallback.
Good evening, President Raven, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Moore. I'm here today representing NEA Alamogordo as its president to speak in support of the 80-20 health insurance rule resolution that is on the agenda. NEA New Mexico's 80-20 campaign addresses a very important issue for New Mexican educators, the increasing cost of healthcare insurance premiums. And we're calling on the New Mexico legislature to ensure that educators as state employees and those who are essential to the well-being of our students and the future of our state can afford health care for themselves and their families. They can do this by requiring the state to fully fund school districts so that they can pay a minimum of 80% health insurance premium per paycheck to an employee's maximum payment of 20%. One way to recruit teachers to fill the continued vacancies throughout the state, as well as to retain the highly qualified professionals we already have, is to have the legislature fully fund school districts to pay 80% of their employees' insurance premiums. And so we're asking for your support in passing that resolution. NEA New Mexico put out a 2023 legislative and policy priorities survey specifically to Alamogordo. We had 108 responses. 33 of them were members, 33% were members of NEA, 56% were certified teachers. And their number one priority was educator working conditions. Their second priority, however, it applies directly to this 80-20 rule. They were worried about educator retention with a focus on changing the health care. And so this 80-20 resolution, health insurance resolution, would go a long way in listening and helping the employees in Alamogordo in meeting their particular needs. 90% of Alamogordo's respondents support the school districts covering 80% of their health insurance premium costs. And one quote that we had from one of the Alamogordo educators that responded to this survey said, quote, "Our paychecks are increasingly eaten up by high costs of health care insurances. Even with our new raises, we are still not making enough money to pay for the additional costs that we are incurring with inflation," unquote. So I would really like to encourage the passage of this particular resolution, and I appreciate your consideration of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Bethany Gerald.
Hi, good evening, Dr. Moore, President Rabin, and board members. I'm Bethany Gerald. I've been a preschool teacher in Alamogordo for 19 years, and I'm the Vice President of NEA New Mexico. I'm so excited that y'all are looking at passing this 80-20 resolution. Currently, school employees making $25,000 per year or more on the statewide level get 60% of their insurance covered by their districts. That was established in the 80s when NEMCIA was established. And in the 80s, making $25,000 was a decent income. And so having people at that level pay more on their insurance made sense. At this point, $25,000 is not enough to have people have to pay that percentage of their insurance. So at this time, it's a serious time to make these changes to support our educators. As Melanie talked about, we did a survey statewide, and she talked specifically about the 108 employees from Alamogordo who responded. We had about 1,200 people throughout the state who responded, and for the first time in I can't tell you how many years of this survey, the number one response around the state was teacher retention, including this healthcare change and the 80-20 fully funded rule. For many years, it's been salary. And we had huge legislative wins, and we all came together last year to ensure that all of our employees have that bump in their income. But I'm also on the NIMSIA board, so I see this from a number of sides. And every year, as we have pay increases, our insurance goes up. And for NIMSIA to stay solvent, we have to raise rates for us to be fiduciarily responsible. And so, as we've seen over many years, every year we get a pay increase, and NIMSIA goes up 6%, 9%, however much we have to do to make sure we've shored up the fund. So this is a way for our employees to feel valued, to realize that our district recognizes healthcare costs are an issue, and that we want to stand behind them and support them. And we're not asking the district just to cover this on your own. We want us to all follow this 80-20 fully funded resolution, asking legislators to fully fund that 80%. So it's not that we're asking the district to pay money that taking from other programs. It's having the state fund that, so we don't, just to support our employees, and it's not going to hurt our district budget. And actually, thankful in this district, about 6 years ago, we negotiated, and we pay a 5% higher percent at each level. So it'll probably help our local budget if we can get this passed, because we're already paying more than what we get back from the state. So the last thing I want to ask, I have a QR code that I'll share with you later. We have a petition throughout the state asking for any registered voter in New Mexico who supports this 80-20 to sign the petition that we're going to take to legislators, encouraging them to support this 80-20 rule also. So I will have this and catch you all afterwards, so hopefully you can sign it. And thank you so much for supporting this and talking about it today.
Thank you. Okay, that's all the public participation we have this evening. We'll move on to reports, and starting with Dr. Ken Moore, our superintendent's report. Dr. Moore.
Right. Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, and Colonel Peterson. Tonight, I just have a few updates here tonight. Our 40-day enrollment update, our latest hiring update, some updates on our construction, and then talk about our snow plan. It's actually already that time of year we have to watch the weather reports and check the roads in the morning. So
It may be tomorrow.
maybe tomorrow. That's why we're ready. Okay. Is it? Can you advance to the next slide for me back there? My clicker doesn't seem to be clicking here. We reported our official 40-day enrollment last week. As of Wednesday was day 40. Happy to say that compared with last year, we did go up about 50 students. We're currently at 5469 in the K through 12 grades, and we have 185 in pre-K. And next slide. We're about the same as last month with our vacancies. Overall, about 95% filled. That includes bus drivers and everything. SPED still continues to be, especially EAs. SPED EAs are very hard to come by. And I say that's our toughest shortage. We have fewer number of SPED teachers than Gen Ed teachers, so when we're missing a few of them, it has a big impact. But those are our rates, about 93% for Gen Ed, 93% for SPED, 80% for general education EAs, and 85% for SPED EAs. So those EAs, both Gen Ed and SPED, are huge. I'm happy to say we're down to just one counselor vacancy as of today. Didn't get that update in, but we did just hire on another counselor. Next slide, please. You'll have to click. There we go. That's kind of small, but Holloman Elementary School is coming along. We're doing a punch list, getting all the little items fixed. We're still awaiting some flooring for the D wing, but we expect that to be here shortly. The fire marshal is going to be doing his final inspection this month, and we should get a official certificate of occupancy by the 7th of November. the project closeout, getting the warranties all squared away. Everything is right on track. Some of the exterior site work was delayed a little bit with the rain, the asphalt and paving outside, but we expect that to be done this week. But if it doesn't snow on us. Click again. Chaparral Middle School, our design team has completed their DDs with their value engineering to bring the cost down to our new max allowable cost, which is 10 million more than it started out at. And so we've got them getting those two costs to come together, our cost estimates to be under that MAC, and we should be having we will be having our meeting with the design team on the 19th to go over that final list of design and get that thing in. Once PSFA approves those revisions, the architects start the construction design phase, and we expect to have 25% of that construction design submitted by the end of this calendar year. We have a FEMA floodplain survey in progress, should be complete by Friday. That was and in conjunction with construction CID, construction, what's the I for again? Industries Division wanted us to do stormwater mapping, and we should have that finished here by the end of the calendar year as well. So Chaparral's on track again. Next, click again, please. Holloman Middle School, again, our OLDCC proposal was accepted. They did come back with some budget questions and revisions that we have to do, and we should have those back to them this week. Again, I'll say this every time I talk about Holloman Middle School. OLDCC, once this is all done, we'll be funding that completely. APS does not have to do any match on that construction for Holloman Middle School. And click again. And Sacramento Outdoor Learning Facility, the work's underway. We're doing this in-house with our own team. The earthwork and grading we've cut down some dead trees over there. We're getting all of that going this week. We're going to be refurbishing that playground and putting new fencing up in November. We hope to have this done before we go out on Christmas break. Next slide, please. Oh, there we go. And our varsity soccer field project that we got the special capital money from Senators Griggs, Burtz, and Representative Black. That's funded. The contractors are doing core drilling and their geotech surveys starting on the 24th of October. And we've got everything here that we need. We wanted to start that after the soccer season was over, so we should have that rolling here soon as well. And have a nice new artificial turf soccer pitch for our teams for the next season. Next slide, please. Okay, our snow day plan, as I mentioned, it could snow tonight. Just keep clicking there for me. I don't know why that's doing that. We're going to be, if we have to do a snow day, either tonight or any day, you'll hear announcements on our local radio stations. Keep going, please. Facebook, we'll send it out to parents on School Messenger. We'll have it and posted on our website. Two different types of weather situations. We may have to do a delayed start, where we wait till the road's clear enough for the buses to get through, or shut down for the full day. If we have to do a full day, for secondary students, middle and high school students, they take their Chromebooks home every day, and we'll be doing a virtual day, just like we were when we were fully virtual. They'll follow their normal schedule and be live with their teachers on Google Classroom. For elementary, they don't take Chromebooks home, so our teachers have put together some snow day lesson packets, things to break glass in case of snow. Anytime they are at home because of snow, they'll have assignments in there, read a book, have a parent read a book to the younger readers. have a parent take them outside for some outdoor activities safely and under proper supervision, of course. But that's what we'll be doing when we do have a snow day. We do not, and at our listening to our public and our parents last year, to make sure that we get important holidays such as Veterans Day and other ones throughout the year off, which we do this year. Veterans Day is no school day. We weren't able to build a snow day into the spring calendar because of that, and still get enough instructional days in our calendar. So by doing this, by having that virtual capability and having some take-home snow day packets, we can still count it as an instructional day and not have to make it up in the spring or have the kids come back after Memorial Day in June. And last slide, please. Hey, again, we are all in for all of our students. We serve, support, and educate and elevate them, and we are elevating them. Next board meeting, we'll have update on our students' progress this semester. I had hoped to have that ready this week, but we're still parsing that data. We have so many different tests we're giving students based on the level they're at, and we have to normalize it all to be able to give you some overall information that's meaningful. But our students are making tremendous progress, I'll tell you that. Our teachers and our principals are working very hard to get them all caught up to where they should be before the end of this school year. So that's all I have. I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions for Dr. Moore this evening? All right. Dr. Moore, I have a couple.
Yes, ma'am.
On the teacher hires, do we have any teachers in the system as far as background checks? Are they in the background check stage, or how many do we have in the queue?
We have about 10 in the queue, and some of those
Some of those
vacancies already
20
have some
are.
folks
Okay.
coming to be hired. And we also, interestingly enough, a number of people that have been on FMLA or off for maternity leave and such are coming back. And so they'll be filling some vacancies as well, but they're not quite here yet.
Okay.
So we want to give you a good snapshot.
Okay. Any update on the status of our Filipino teachers? Are we still working hard to?
They are working themselves and a lot of people nationally to keep them. So no further information about extending it, but anything you can do on the national level to extend those visas at least another year because of COVID, we would certainly appreciate that.
Okay, good. Wondering about the Chaparral Middle School. Do you think we could realistically expect bids to be going out to the public by early spring of 2023? Is that being too optimistic, or do you think that's a good?
Well, we should be, President Rabin, members of the board, we should be at 25% construction design by the end of this calendar year. So that might be a little optimistic for early spring, but Deputy Tagle, if you
I
want
think
to
that's
jump in here.
optimistic, overly optimistic.
Okay, so we're looking maybe summer.
Probably summer
That would
now.
be the best case. And again, the state is aware, that we were delayed through no fault of our own. And we're hoping that review process, because we've already been working with CID so closely, that we'll skip through that faster than we ever have.
Is there anything we can do to put a little pressure on anyone, or anything we can do to help that, or just we've got that going now?
It will be a great time during the session. We'll know where we are at those things, and we'd be able to tell you if somebody at CID, or if there are any concerns, that you could apply some of your persuasive skills.
Okay, we'll work on that.
Yes,
That's our.
we'll probably have some suggestions.
They've got a 5-woman board coming after them, so
They don't know what they're going to
that doesn't happen every day. So, all right.
So when we talked about it before, we had talked about having a groundbreaking in the spring of 23. That's not going to happen either.
We'll probably only have it out for bid by late spring, summertime. So groundbreaking's probably going to be in the fall once we select a late summer, early fall now. We had all the cost escalations going. We've been up there trying to get that extra $10 million, and it's been back and forth with cost estimates. Well, let's see if we use this material, can we get the cost down here? Same design that we have here, we just have to, in some places, select different designs or just change some small configurations here and there. We want to keep that same great design that our architects did for it. We're just trying to find ways to do it a little less expensively.
So we'll all get to see what design changes are being made as far
Yes,
as that
absolutely.
before.
We'll have a full presentation for you on the construction designs. We can give you one at each phase. We get 25% as the first, and I'll be glad to present that to all of you here when we get that in, hopefully at the end of this calendar year. And then we get to 50, 75, 100. We'll brief you fully on all of that. Most of it is stuff you won't see. The type of metal for the roofing, some interior design. I am adamant about having tilt-up concrete walls, though. That's for many reasons: longevity, less maintenance, and it also is a thick, solid surface, not like stucco that you can almost punch through. So, but yes, so that has been. Looks like it's going to be delayed a little bit further out than what we'd expected earlier on this year.
Any other questions for Dr. Moore? We are into the calendar now, and, we accepted that, took that, the calendar committee worked hard on that, and now that it's in place, it's very nice to see these holidays happening like they should be. It's nice to know that our teachers and families are going to be together for that week in the fall, so you don't think about it when it's when we're approving that, but now that it's actually happening, good job to the calendar committee on that. Appreciate that. All right, if there's nothing more for Dr. Moore, we'll move on to Colonel Peterson.
Thanks, President Rabin. So I want to start with an update on our Project Search program out at Holloman. So the interns have started their first rotation, and we've got nothing but good feedback so far. As they do another rotation, I will present more to the board and let them know let everybody know how they're doing. But it's been going great so far. I think this group of 5 is even better than the inaugural group we had last year. I am briefing the New Mexico Military and Veteran Affairs Committee next week in Santa Fe. I was going to thank them for passing the teacher staff pay increase, but I think I'll bring up the 80-20 as well. Anything we can do to increase retention is a benefit to all of the military bases across the state of New Mexico. I was able to participate in several activities at the Holland Middle School, including a reward ceremony for them as they try to get their math scores up. So grateful for that opportunity and happy to participate anywhere else if any of the other schools want someone from the base to come out as well. And then I will be looking to work with the deputy superintendents to see if we can kind of streamline the volunteering process. We're getting a lot of feedback from some of the families on they want to get more involved in the schools as we come out of COVID. So how can we make that process go a little bit smoother so they can get in and help out? As we talk about things like parental involvement, one of our goals would be to make sure that process is easier, at least on the installation, since most of our members on the installation already have background checks and things like that already taken care of. With that, stand by for any questions.
Any questions for Colonel Peterson tonight? Colonel, any feedback on, I know we had teachers see the new elementary school
I
for
actually, I'm sorry, I forgot that one. It was over here in the margin. So nothing but great feedback on it. Very excited to get in there. Obviously, we have to wait for some of those dates that Dr. Moore mentioned, the final approval and stuff like that. But all the feedback we've gotten from the teachers is that they're very excited to move over to the new building. And if you're interested in, after you get the full acceptance and it's ready, we could have a night for parents to walk through or something like that.
Absolutely.
I think that would be amazing. Probably have to wait till after, mid-November time frame, but that would be nice as well.
We do plan to do that. We just don't have a date yet, but
Okay.
absolutely.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Peterson. Our student ex officio member, Savannah Veith. Savannah.
So, starting off with ball sports, our football team defeated the Las Cruces Bulldogs at the Field of Dreams, which hasn't happened in quite a while. So, yay. We then suffered a loss to Hobbs at home this past weekend, but the Tigers will be facing Centennial High School this Saturday in Las Cruces. Our boys soccer team is fresh off a win against Mayfield. The boys are finishing strong with their senior night against Las Cruces from last week and a road game versus Gadsden on October 20th. Girls soccer suffered a loss to Mayfield this past Friday. They end the season with a road game against Las Cruces and a home game on the 20th against Gadsden. Cross country has been doing very well this season. They have a big test on October 21st with a road meet to Los Alamos. Our Tigers will be traveling to Las Cruces on October 29th for district. Volleyball has 6 more district games left in their season. The next 2 games will be a home game against Centennial and a road game against Oregon Mountain. Fall sports will be coming to an end next month, and we wish all athletes good luck and to finish strong. The high school has a few events this month. On October 14th, we had a Space Hall Assembly at Alamogordo High School, which was pretty cool. On October 21st, there will be a college fair for juniors and seniors at 10:30 at the high school, and they will be there till 11:30. On October 29th, there is a tournament of the bands as well as the Fall Festival. The Fall Festival will be from 5 to 8 p.m. at Alamogordo High School. And the Fall Festival will be open to the community as a fun way for families to have some Halloween fun. And that's all I have for you today.
Any questions for Savannah? Good, Savannah, we appreciate that. Any middle school, I see Principal Kuzmak out there. There's Dr. Armador here.
He's at a PD trip
Is he?
in San Antonio right now.
Savannah's going to be making contact with you guys to get a little information about the middle schools. So we appreciate that.
Yeah,
And Holloman.
Holloman Middle Ellen's out there too.
Ellen's out here. Yes, good. So there you go. They're out here. Thank you, Savannah. Appreciate it. Consent agenda. Oh, board discussion. So anyone have anything this evening that you want to talk about?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
I went to a couple events over the weekend, little kid birthday parties, and I went to the Buena Vista Literacy Night with my kindergartner Friday night. And people that I know well, and of course being from here and everything, everybody is so optimistic, and I just want to really talk to the principals tonight. Good news breeds good news. Optimism breeds optimism. Everybody is so happy with the way things are going right now, and I just really want you to pass that along to your teachers, your employees, because it helps. Beating the Bulldogs, the first time since 2006, our students need to learn how to be proud to be Tigers again, and I just really want to spread that message as much as I can.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Anyone else have anything for board discussion this evening? All right, we'll move on to.
Amanda.
Oh, sorry,
Yes.
Amanda. Excuse
Yes,
me.
I had the pleasure of going and visiting Chaparral Middle School this week, and it was just really incredible to see the progress that they're making over there. They are so excited. He called himself a disruptor, which I think is really awesome, that he's just trying to really make a difference in the system and really trying to get the kids excited. Every 9 weeks, he had a different goal that he was planning on working on. It was really just great to see the progress that they're making within the school, even though they don't have a new building yet. They really are working hard to make it a really great place for the kids.
It is, yeah, lots of good things. I attended the pep rally at Alamogordo High School. Woohoo, that was a fun thing. The band played, all the kids were excited to be there, everyone in black and gold, so lots of great things going on in our schools. We appreciate everyone who does that. All right, our consent agenda this evening. We have a few contracts and other matters to discuss and look at. Contracts, we're going to consider approval of contract number 003-2022-1-C2 between Sylvan Learning, Alamogordo, and Alamogordo Public Schools, and any resulting purchase requisitions. We have budget adjustment request, one between maintenance and operational, and initial budget New Mexico outdoor learning. Charitable donations this evening. We had our big donation from First Savings Bank for $6,445.67 to the APS District. Otero County Electrical Co-op, $2,500 to Alamogordo Public School Volleyball. Otero Federal Credit Union, $250 for the AHS MESA program. Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories, $100 to Buena Vista Elementary School STEM program. Walmart, $100 to Buena Vista PTO. Walmart, $200 to Mountain View Middle School Annual Halloween Dance and Haunted House, for a total of $9,595.67. Once again, our community is so generous with our schools. Deeply appreciated the support, very much so. Accounts payable check listing, everyone has seen that in their board pack, along with the purchase order listings. Does any member want to open any item to discussion? Does any member have a conflict with respect to any of the items on the consent agenda this evening? Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion on any of the items tonight? Okay. All those in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda passes. We have information to the board, the financial reports. Let the record reflect that the board has reviewed the financial reports for the month of September. We have other items of business. Consider approval of amendments to the Alamogordo Public School Board of Education Handbook, and this is an action item. Dr. Moore, do you want to give a briefing of this real quick?
Yes, President Rabin, members of the board, the board handbook needs to be updated to include our newest member, Ms. Jewell. And there's also an item that we'll have to update here tonight when you will vote on a vice president as well. So the only changes here are there to reflect Ms. Jewell and whomever you elect as vice president to replace Ryan Sherwood.
All right, thank you. In looking at our handbook, I think it's always a good idea for all of us to take this opportunity to read through that again, read through our handbook, understand why we're here, what our purpose is, and to remind us of our responsibilities to the district. So that is an action item. Is there a motion to approve the amendments to the APS Board of Education Handbook?
So moved.
Your second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next, we're going to consider approval of a resolution number 2022-2023-02, 80/20 Health Insurance Rule Action. Let's get a little more information about this. Dr. Moore, what do you have to say? And if we have any questions for our NEA?
Yes, ma'am. President Rabin, members of the board, and our NEA representatives here, as Ms. Jarrell mentioned and Ms. Hallbeck mentioned here, this resolution is to add support to possible legislation at the next session to increase the NMCIA minimum contributions for employee health care. Currently, the minimums are, they're all tiered by salary level. If one makes less than $15,000, the current NMCIA minimum is 75% employer contribution. APS currently pays 80% at that income level. From 15 to 20K, the NMCIA minimum is 70%. Again, we pay 5% more than each of these minimums, so we are at 75% here. From 20 to 25K, it drops down to 65% minimum. We pay 70. And for anyone over 25,000, the NMCIA minimum employer contribution is 60%. We pay 65%. This resolution we're asking you to approve tonight will send up to the state, the legislature, to add our voice to many other districts in New Mexico that are requesting that the NMCIA minimum for all employees be 80%.
I have a question. So does a person, for example, who makes $150,000 a year pay more in basic insurance than a person who makes $25,000? So say it's a single person, they're paying only for their insurance. Is their cost more than someone who makes less?
President Rabin, members of the board, Superintendent Moore, it's after the $25,000, after the minimums are met, everybody above it pays the same amount. So there's no graduated thing after. Somebody who makes $80,000 pays the same as somebody who makes $100,000.
And it's all percentage, right?
Yes, correct.
Yes. Percentage of the healthcare cost?
That's correct.
Percentage
And the
of
NMCIA
that.
sets the rate, and as our NEA reps and Dr. Moore mentioned, they went up significantly this year and have for several years.
So a person, okay, another example, a person with a family of 4 that's making 50 grand a year is going to be paying more because they're insuring a family of 4.
Correct.
So we're paying 65% of their insurance at this point, whereas somebody who makes $150,000 a year is paying less for their insurance, and we're paying 65% of that too.
That we pay the percentage based on your salary. If you are also insuring your spouse or a family member, your total bill is higher than a single person, regardless of.
So if you have 4 people, we're still paying 65% of the cost for 4 people.
No, I believe that we don't pay the full amount. And I think you have, I don't have that document before you,
I
but
don't
the
have it
family
with me.
amount
Get at
is a different amount. It's not, we don't participate. For example, I pay for 100% of my husband's insurance.
Okay. So because you see what I'm saying, that would be a bigger benefit.
Exactly. I'm sorry, I misunderstood initially.
Okay. Anyone else have a question about this? When I asked Dr. Moore to put this on the agenda, I knew that the Las Cruces School Board had approved this, and I had been in discussion just in the private sector with our business, and realized that for retention of employees in the private sector, that we were needing to go to 100% employee pay for our employees, and then a different level for their families. But it has to do with retention. That's an important part. And, you know, living in a community where we have so many military dependents or military, active military, insurance is not as much as a concern.
Right, I don't pay.
You don't see that.
I don't use
Exactly.
our
Exactly.
benefits
Yeah.
here.
Dr. Moore, Dr. Peterson, or Colonel Peterson. So when you look at the $25,000 in 2000, what was it, 2006? In the 80s?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I know when I went to work for the district in 1993, and I've had a family of 4 that it was cheaper for us to go on school insurance than with our business, and I'm sure it's the same thing. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
President Raven, I found the current NIMPSIA manual that lists the rates for single, two-party, and family. I'll email that out to you. If anybody else wants to look at it, just Google NIMPSIA, NMPSIA, employer participation, and it's a PDF right there. It's one of the top results, but I'll download that and email that to you all right now.
I did think it was interesting that in your surveys that healthcare is coming up ahead of wages as far as something that teachers are more concerned about.
I've talked to many employees who work only so they can have health care.
Well, and we all know, we've all, in schools, you all know some educational assistants that work, their husbands are small business people, and they work purely for the insurance benefit. It's a great benefit, but if we can do this, and the thought that it's not costing our district anything, in fact, maybe get a little bit back because we've been progressive about this, I think is a good call.
Well, and just generally, I think to help people, if you get a 7% raise, but your insurance goes up 13%, it doesn't matter in the end. So,
Some can see a decrease in their
right.
paycheck.
I'd also like to commend NEA Alamogordo for getting the 5% higher than the other districts are. That was quite a win. Quite a win.
Okay. Any other discussion on this resolution tonight? Bethany, anything else? Melanie, anything else you want to put in here, or I think we're pretty clear?
Just that we really appreciate you doing this because it is so very important, and it not only impacts teachers, but it impacts our lowest paid employees.
Right.
Always,
really
always, of
heavily,
course, yes.
with the insurance premium increases, because oftentimes they're seeing even less money than they would have even when they're getting these wage increases, because they go up in the amount that they have to pay.
Exactly.
So this is incredibly important, and your support is incredibly important. Thank you for that.
That's a good point. Our bus drivers, all of our that has,
Custodians, bus
everyone who
drivers,
has
yep.
access to
Student
this
nutrition.
insurance. Good. All right, any more questions on this discussion? All right, with that, is there a motion to approve Resolution 2022-2023-02, the 80/20 health insurance rule?
So moved.
I would like to move that we pass that.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion on this topic? All right, with that, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. That one feels good. Thank you. All right, we're going to consider appointment of an Alamogordo Public School Board member to the office of Vice President. This is an action item. This was vacated by Colonel Sherwood when he left. And anyone have any thoughts on this?
I have a question. We haven't had a regular board election in 14 months. Is that forthcoming, or are we just going to replace the vice president at this point?
I think if you'd like to put that on the agenda, we can certainly do it.
Okay.
Good. But for now, we'll select a vice president.
I'd like to nominate Amber. My mind just went black.
Amber Ross.
Amber, yes.
Ross.
Is there a second to Amber?
I'll second.
All right. Amber, are you willing?
I am.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to appoint Amber Ross to the office of Vice President. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Amber.
Well, thank you.
Motion
guys.
passes. Good.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
So this next one, we need to consider appointment of an Alamogordo Public Schools Board member to the District Finance Committee. This is a committee that Colonel Sherwood and I served on. I believe Carol and you and Amber are on the, Angie, you came off of the audit, right?
Audit committee.
Okay, so we need to appoint, anyone want to take this, go on with this? I'm on it and we'll continue.
I'll be on finance. Something different.
Okay. Anyone else? We're good?
I didn't hear what was being said.
Angie would like to be on the Finance Committee. Ryan was on it, Ryan
Okay.
and I.
That's the budget committee, right?
Budget and
right.
finance, same
Okay,
thing.
and the audit committee is
It's the two of you.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it hadn't
Okay.
changed any.
All right. All righty. So is there a motion to appoint Angie Cadwalader to the District Finance Committee?
So moved.
A second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Angie, there you go.
All right.
Good. So for the APS Board Policy Manual, no policies for the month of October. And if you are bored and don't have anything to do, you just take a look at what's coming up in the Alamogordo Public Schools over the next couple of months. You're busy every night
Absolutely.
for everything. Especially excited about this Friday night. Did you see the band? All the bands are going to be at Tiger Stadium, going to be doing their thing. That should be a great show.
Oh, yeah.
Is it, does anyone know what time are we? 7:30 for the bands, great. And it's, I think I read that it's the middle school bands, Holloman, the high
I've
school.
lost track of the dates, but when is the ZIA competition this year, and is Alamogordo going? Or did we already miss it?
Is that the tournament of bands?
It's usually, it's, a tournament of bands is first, and then ZIA is in Albuquerque, and that's in, sometime in October.
She said she'll send it? No.
Okay. Oh, it's this weekend, okay.
Just
Oh,
that.
I did, okay,
Okay.
thank you.
I won't read off of this, but let's put that on your calendar and let's try to attend as many of these as we can. Man, it looks like fun. Lots going on. The sports schedule, our teams are busy. We have, everyone's still playing. Tigers have a couple of more games. And continue on with the schedule of the sports. Goodness, yeah, Alamogordo, get out there. Let's try to get this maybe in the newspaper, and there's no reason for anyone to miss this excitement. Looks like a fun time.
We have it posted everywhere.
Good. Any other business this evening? All right, this board has conducted all their business. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Good job.